The following diagram shows the graph of the function y equal x squared plus x minus 2. Right? So let's look at what they're asking us now. So part 1, it says from the graph, state the roots of the function. Now the roots of the function is going to be the x-intercept, that is where the graph cuts the x-axis. So these are the 2 points right here, and right here. So therefore the roots is going to be x equal to -2 and x equal to 1. Right, so let's go back down here. X equal to -2 and x is equal to 1. Right? Let's look at part B. So we need to find the coordinates of the y-intercept of the function. So let's go back to our graph. So the y-intercept is where the graph cuts the y-axis, and it's right here. Right? And we are looking for coordinates. So we must state the x and the y. So therefore it's going to be 0, -2. Right? So that is the coordinates of the y-intercept. Part C is saying the minimum value of the function. Let's go back to our graph. So the minimum value, we're going to look for the lowest point on the graph, right here. Right? And if we move across, we get -2.4. Now, it is good that you look at your scale when it comes on to doing these questions, because if you notice on the y-axis, one of the large squares is 2 units. So therefore, the smaller squares must be 0.4. So the minimum value is -2.4. So let's put that down, -2.4. Now it says part D, the equation of the axis of symmetry of the function. So let's go back to the function. Now all we're going to do, we're going to start from the minimum point and move up until we touch the x-axis. This point corresponds to -0.5. So we're going to say x is equal to -0.5. So that is the equation for the axis of symmetry. Now let's look at part B. Part 1 of B is saying on the same pair of axes on page 24, draw and label the line y is equal to 2x plus 4. Right? So let's analyze the equation here. Y is equal to 2x plus 4. So y is equal to 2x plus 4. Now, this 4 here is the y-intercept. So y-intercept, right? So therefore, we can go up here and put a point right here. The graph will cut at this point because the y-intercept is 4. We need to find a next point. Let's find a next point. So we have the equation y is equal to 2x plus 4. We can find the x-intercept by setting y to be 0. So if we set y to be 0, we're going to get 0 is equal to 2x plus 4. Transpose for x, we're going to get -4 is equal to 2x. Divide through by 2, we get x is equal to -2. Therefore, the next point is going to be -2, 0. Remember that we start out with x first, then y. So we're going to put right here the next point. So all we're going to do, we're going to get our ruler and draw a line through these 2 points. Remember, we need 2 points to draw a line. So I'm going to draw my line now. And they said that we should label it y is equal to 2x plus 4. Right. Now let's go back to the question. Using your graphs, determine the solutions to the following pair of simultaneous equations. So notice that this one here is the quadratic. This is the quadratic. And this one here is the line. Now, whenever time we are using our graph to find a solution, all we are going to look for are the points where both lines or curves intersect. So let us go back to the graph here. Right, so what we are looking for now are the points where the line and the quadratic curve meet. So right here is one. So let me circle it. Right here is one, and right here is one. Right? So this point right here, let us write down this point. This point is 3, 10. So this is 3 and 10. And this point here is -2, 0. Right? So the solution now, let's go back up here. Let's go back down here. The solution is going to be x is equal to -2 and y is equal to 0, or x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 10. So that is our solution. Now this is how we have to write our solution. So first we got the point -2, 0, and we got the point 3 and 10. We can't just write these. We can't write these down like this. These are the points. The examiner is looking for the solution. So we have to clearly state x is equal to -2, y is equal to 0, x is equal to 3, and y is equal to 10. We have to clearly state that. Right? Let us move on to the next part of the question. It says the following diagram shows the velocity time graph of a car's journey from town R to town Q. The car accelerates for 2 minutes, travels at a constant maximum speed, then slows down and stops. Right, so let's look at our graph. It's a speed time graph. So let's look at what they're asking us for now. So here it says, determine the initial acceleration of the car. So let's go back up to the graph. Now the initial acceleration, we are looking at the first stage right here, where the car accelerates for 2 minutes. Right? Now to find this initial acceleration, we have to take the gradient of this line right here. This line. Now, the easiest way to do it is to say rise over run. And we are looking at here. Here would be the rise. Let me use a different color. Here would be the rise. So this is the rise. And here would be the run. Now we can count the number of squares for the rise, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the rise is 12 and the run is going to be 1, 2. So the initial acceleration is going to be 12 over 2, which is 6 meters per second square. Let's go down here. The initial acceleration of the car is going to be 12 over 2, which is equal to 6 meters per second squared. Let's look at the next part of the question. Here it says calculate the distance between the two towns. Right? Once we are dealing with speed time graph and they ask us for distance, we need to find the area underneath the graph. Right? So we need to find all of this area. All of this area underneath the graph. Right? So notice now, this shape is a trapezium. Let me draw the shape. And the area of a trapezium is a half a plus b times height. Right? And a is right here, b is right here, and of course the height. Now let us try to get some information for a, b, and h. Now A is going to be this distance here. That's A. Notice on the x-axis we are going up by 60 each time. So if we count up the number of squares here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to have 8 times 60, right? And that is going to give us 480. So A right here is going to be 480, right? What about B? No, B is going to be, so if we add